Welcome back to another day of living in a new house. For those of you who don't know, my name is Ryan. I started doing house renovation vlogs for my partner while we were doing long distance relationship. She's now since joined me and we've continued to do the vlogs for friends and family. So welcome back to another day. It has been a couple of days since we've actually recorded anything. And that is because the cold has started wreaking havoc. There are lots of problems that have occurred and I need to walk you through each and every one of them. And we'll start outside. So, first of all, we built snowmen when it snowed about a week and a bit ago. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. We were the only people in the local area that did, because by the morning the snow had gone. And to prove how cold it's been, the snow is still there. It is now almost a week on and we still have snow on the ground. I think the coldest we've got to so far was about -8 one night, which is kind of unseasonable for the UK, so it's been a bit of a problem, and it's been causing some problems with the renovation. So first of all is this thing here. So for anybody that doesn't know, the previous owners turned part of the porch area into a downstairs toilet because the lady used to live here was elderly and it was more accessible. It was done on the cheap, and they put the waste pipe for the toilet all the way down to the back of the house down there, and this top one here is for the sink. So I came down one morning getting ready to go to work, and all of a sudden the water wasn't going down the sink. Bit of a problem. So I was like, oh no, the pipe's going to be frozen, and the pipe is actually currently open at the moment. If I take you all the way down the back, it's currently open because that's where the shower used to feed into it until we reran the waste pipe for that. So yeah, I came down and the sink wasn't running. Came down, had a look around things, didn't see what was going on, and I always thought that this thing was just a rodding point, so if you ever had a blockage you could unscrew that and go through it. No, it turns out it's actually, if you look on there, a NRV being a non-return valve, and this thing was freezing up, which was stopping the siphon in the bottom of the cistern running. Now, because I didn't know that was a non-return valve, I stripped the whole part of the waste off the bottom of the sink, cleaned it all, so it was worthwhile doing at least, before eventually realising this is what it is. So for the last 3 or 4 days in a row now, as you can see from the water stains in the local area and the puddle on the floor, which hasn't evaporated because it's so cold and it's probably turning to ice, I've had to come and pour boiling water on that so we can use the downstairs sink. So that is problem number 1 that has occurred. Problem number 2, which is less to do with the house and actually isn't one of mine, is for some reason Elizabeth decided on the coldest day we'd had so far this year, being 2025, but in 2024 as well, to get the shears out and have a go at that bush. And well, she may have discovered something, so I'll let her explain that now.
So I've been meaning to chop down this bush for a while now. I thought it would only take me like half an hour. I was wrong. It is so dense, and these little branches are really thick, so they're hard to cut, but hopefully I will get most of it done today, maybe tomorrow. So, made some progress. I didn't really want to get rid of this bush because there's little birdies, I don't know if you can see them, that are kind of hiding in there. But it's all dead, and so it needed to go anyways. And then when we redo the garden, we're gonna plant a bunch of stuff, so hopefully they'll find a new home in there. But this is pretty much full, so I might do a little bit more and then call it a day. We have a problem. There's a little nest, which I of course did not see until now. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see if I can. I don't want to disturb it. And I just feel like such a jerk because I'm just murdering their home. So, on that note, I'm going to be done for the day. I will call Ryan and see what he wants to do. Because this is dead. Like, all this brown stuff, this is dead. Like, the green stuff, every year it's just going to get further and further out, but it's dead. It needs to be cut down in order for like it to grow back the way it's supposed to. But I don't want to kill any little birdie's home, so I don't think you guys can even see it. So I'm just gonna quit for now and we'll figure out what to do next. Oh yeah, some little birdies. Oh, I might do some Googling wonder if there's any way we can like gently move it somewhere. Probably not, but we'll figure it out, I guess.
So yeah, the poor old birds I filmed way back in episode 2 that were happily living in the garden. We didn't know there was a nest there, and we may have chopped their home up. So we did go out to a garden centre today, but we didn't get a chance to go in the garden bit of the garden centre. And I think the plan for us is we're going to try and buy a bird box and maybe some bird feed and bird feeders as a sort of way of apology to say, sorry starlings, we accidentally chopped your home up not realising there was one there. But the bushes have got to go, so for the plans we will eventually draw up for the garden. I'm pretty sure we're planning on getting rid of all that, putting some proper planters in and putting some new plants in. So yeah, there might be some temporary disturbance to the local residents of the garden, sadly. Right, now, the third problem, and probably the biggest one to date at the moment. So you may remember that this plaster hadn't stuck to this wall very well, and we had to go through and reskim it. I'm happy to report that there is no signs of blowing out at the moment or anything else. It seems to fix quite nicely. Even on this bit here where we left the original bit on the bottom there's no sort of edge. It's nice and smooth. Done a pretty good job. Very pleased with it. Unfortunately, I was sitting in bed last night and there were some cracking noises that appeared. So I've been turning the heating off at night to try and save on energy, which I think may have caused some issues. So, first of all, I found another location on this wall over here, and I don't know whether I'm going to be able to show it very well if I get the flashlight on. You'll see on this part the plaster is also not adhered to the wall, and you'll notice now there's now some cracks starting to appear all the way up this part of the wall. So this bit here is not adhered. The rest of the wall doesn't seem too bad. There maybe is a couple of patches over here where it's not adhered. So I think there's some more problems with how I've done the plastering, some more things for me to learn, unfortunately. One of them being that, if I remember correctly, when we were doing this and we put the PVA on the wall, the paint started to sort of bubble and come off, and like we did when we had to redo that wall, the actual paint that was on that wall, it just wasn't stuck to the wall very well in itself. So we're going to take the lesson from that, and we're going to end up whitewashing or sugar soaping all the paint off the rest of the walls now, absolutely cleaning the hell out of them. We're going to de-dust the hell out of them. We're going to do as much prep work as we can possibly do until I'm absolutely satisfactory that we're going to get it on, because I can't have any more walls, unfortunately, starting to delaminate. These walls that were new boards were fine. That wall's got a couple of issues. Thankfully, I've been around and had a poke on this ceiling, and there doesn't appear to be any issues yet, because they seem to be appearing as the weather's got cold. This wall may have a couple of patches we may also need to look at, and I need to check this one here, which is the big one I want to have a look at. But the bigger problem is not in this front bedroom. The bigger problem is in this room here, and I need to get a torch so I can show you what I'm on about, because there's no light bulb in there. So give me a second and I will return. Remember the cracking noise I mentioned while I was in bed? Well, this is what was occurring. You will see here one big crack running up the side of this frame. You will also see cracks now running over the length of the ceiling in two different locations. This one down here is pretty pronounced all the way along there, which is pretty bad. And that was the noise I was hearing. So I started having a look at that, going, well, what's caused that? Is it's just got cold and there's still a bit of moisture in the plaster, and the moisture is actually freezing because I've got the heating off, is one potential option. But then I thought what I'll do is I'll have a poke around as well and see how bad the adherence is in here. And well, this whole section here is in the middle is shoddy. There you go, there's a really bad bit there. Hard to show it on here, but you'll see none of this middle stretch here is actually stuck to the roof, which is really surprising, because there was some like stippling type Artexy stuff, non asbestos Artex on there, and I would have thought it would have stuck to that pretty well, but obviously it didn't in that particular location, and it's actually right down this middle strip here. So with all the damage we've got on here, I now need to go and assess what I need to do, because where it's cracked, it's actually adhered pretty well, so we may just end up scraping that out. But in other locations, especially that bit, we're probably going to need to strip the ceiling and redo it in here as well. Now I've had a poke on the rest of these walls and nothing seems too bad, fingers crossed. And yeah, kind of disheartening if I'm being completely honest, because I said to Elizabeth this morning, I was like, at the start of the week we had two rooms that were ready to go. We were ready to paint them and go. Then that wall happened, and we still had one room that was ready to go, which was okay. And now we're at the stage where we have 2 rooms, neither of which are now ready to go in terms of like painting and everything else. So, kind of a bummer. What I may actually do is, one of our neighbours is actually a plasterer as well. Or he's done plastering in the past, he doesn't plaster anymore. I may invite him to come around and tell me what I've done wrong, basically. Because it's, yeah, definitely something I need to pick up and learn from. So, kind of an annoyance. Safe to say, in amongst work chaos, travelling chaos, house chaos, 2025 is being a challenging one to start off with. Let's put it that way. So, to make ourselves feel better, we've been out to Melbourne Garden Centre today to go and have a look round, and we did forget to look for apology gifts and treaty gifts for the birds, but we did come back with some prezzies. So I've come back with a giant gingerbread man that was reduced to £1.99, which was not as good as I was hoping, but it was £1.99. We've also got these 50% reduced lights, both indoor and outdoor. We bought a 700 and a 960 strand one because we didn't know what length we needed, and it'd be nice to put some on the house next year, so we might get those out and have a look at those a bit later. Elizabeth has bought a meat thermometer because we have been using the oven and we're a bit unsure on the temperatures it's actually checking out at, so we do want to just make sure that the meat we're putting in is being cooked. We have also brought a luxurious shepherd's pie, which has got all the trimmings in it, I guess. We've also bought a strainer for the sink now, so we can stop junk going down. There you go, that's that installed. And then finally, because Elizabeth and the Canadian measurement system are all over the place, we've got a new little measuring cup, which I'll do what she needs to do in terms of those. So yeah, we have some new things which should hopefully improve some of the carnage which is going on that started in 2025. Well, yesterday we sat down and we very much enjoyed that quite expensive shepherd's pie, but it was good. Enjoyed it. It was a nice tasty treat. And then we sat down and consoled ourselves on all the problems that had happened over the last few days. So main thing was, I just wanted to update you on all those problems. We are now at the stage where we are going to go and address some of those problems. So you'll see I am now finally back into some workwear, ready to go do some work. Plumber man Alex has arrived. So if you want to see the shenanigans that's going on, then you'll want to click through to tomorrow's vlog. If it's posted yet, it may not be posted yet. We'll see what time it comes out. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy hunting, and we will catch you all in tomorrow's vlog.